Hey gang, Tony Bevilacqua, sitting in my car in traffic this morning. Thought I would just do a little video for you. So here's what I want to talk about today. I want to continue my little trend on fitness. So with fitness, we talked about how important it is to make sure that the things that you're doing are going to be the most effective for your everyday life, right? So we talked about looking at your body as one giant muscle instead of breaking it down into little pieces. I think it's really important, especially as we start getting older. We need to make sure that our body is functioning as one giant unit, right? There's another thing we talked about also, like endurance and strength and what those really mean and what those look like. But there's another thing that I want to cover today, and I apologize, my voice is a little scratchy today. I think I'm getting a little cold or something. But anyway, so what I want to talk about as far as fitness goes today is human movement, right? Because one of the things that I've been obsessed about in my career is human movement. So when we watch a gymnast go through a routine, when we watch a weightlifter, and when I say weightlifting, I'm referring to the sport of weightlifting, which if you see the Olympics, you see those guys and those girls lifting those weights. A lot of people will actually call that gymnastics with a barbell because of the manipulation, the changes that your body needs to go through, the different angles and positions that athletes need to hit in order to be successful with lifting 500 pounds from the floor into an overhead position. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy what we can do, from a human performance standpoint. And even other sports, I mean, even a dunk in basketball, there are specific positions that we need to get into in order to be able to jump ourselves up into the air, to be able to get up over that rim and be able to actually, put that basketball in the hoop. So it's something that's always been fascinating to me, and it's something that I think gets overlooked a lot of times in the world of fitness. And when I say the world of fitness, I'm thinking like gyms, right? Because when we talk about fitness, we talk about going to the gym, right? And when we go to the gym, that traditional model of let's break the body down into individual parts. A lot of times when we break the body down into individual parts, we're using single muscles, right? Our single joints. So we're doing bicep curls where we're standing up nice and tall and we're just bending the elbows, right? And I mean, it's such a reduction. A lot of times we're sitting down. It's such a reductionist approach to really getting yourself very, very fit, and very, very fit in a way that's going to lend itself very well to everyday life, right? So when we look at weightlifting, when we look at powerlifting, when we look at sport, when we look at life, when we look at dunking a basketball, right? I mean, pick it, right? All of these different things that we see in everyday life really we get punished if we're doing our fitness in a reductionist style. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So if you're going through the machine-based stuff, let's say you join a gym and you go to the gym and I used to own an Anytime Fitness, which is a traditional style gym, and you go in there and I spent $250,000 on the equipment that's in the middle of the room, which is all of those beautiful looking weight machines with the beautiful upholstered seats, right, that are very comfortable, and you move the pin right into the different weight stack levels depending on how strong you are or whatever, right? And you go over there and you sit down in your comfy little chair and you put your hands on the grips. Maybe there's a couple of different grips to get different angles, right? And then you do your pushes or your pulls or whatever it might be, right? So it's very and if you really think about that, there's when you walk outside and then you're immersed back into real life, those types of movements are not what we're really seeing, right? We're seeing, go out in your backyard on a weekend and do some yard work. We're seeing things that look completely different than that, right? We need to learn how to move your entire body, not just one single joint, not just one group of muscles. The beauty of being a human is being able to coordinate beautiful movement patterns throughout the system to be able to perform efficient, safe work. That's really what it comes down to. So the next time you're thinking of going to the gym or you're going to start an exercise program, I want you to go to a place where you can learn how to move your body really, really well. because that's what's really going to, and when I say move your body, I mean your entire body, right? I gave you an example in the last video of, look in the mirror, and when you see yourself in the mirror, that's the muscle that you need to work on. And the more you can work the entire muscle, the better off you're going to be in your fitness, I promise, right? Big, sometimes you hear compound movements. Compound movements just mean we want to use lots of different muscle groups. We want to teach your body, and a lot of it is just driven from the nervous system, from your brain, right? We want to teach your body to be able to move like a well-oiled machine. I want your shoulders to be able to move well as you're moving your hips. I want your knees to be able to move well as you're moving your shoulders. I want all of these things to be able to work together. I want you to learn how to be able to stabilize your spine and your pelvis as you create good movements. I want you to be able to, all of these things are things that can be learned. They're a little tricky. They take a little bit of extra time. They take a little bit of extra attention. But when you really learn how to move your body well, again, think gymnast, think, weightlifter, think power lifter, think athletes, right? When you can really master the techniques, when you can really master the movements, you have become a master of life, really, a physical being, right? I mean, you become a master. And even when we, I've worked with lots of ex-gymnasts who are older, and if they have this gymnastics background, the other really incredible thing is that those movements never go away. It's kind of like riding a bike. If you can learn how to do a beautiful pull-up, if you can learn how to do a beautiful squat, those things tend to stick with you. Your conditioning levels may change, your strength may change over the years, but you never forget how to do those things. So you can rebuild them again very, very quickly if you have the skills to be able to practice the movements. It's one of the most valuable things you can have, because you can retrain those things and you don't have to worry about learning them. So look, and there's never a bad time to relearn this stuff. And I say relearn, I mean you may not even have really learned how to move really, really well. Okay, so it's very possible. There are some very fundamental movements that I bring into my program that I believe are going to be the biggest game changers for you in your life, right? So look, if you'd like my help with some of this stuff, I would love to help. And one of the things that I do with my clients is I do video reviews, obsessively. I love seeing people move. I love giving them the cues that they're going to need to be even better movers, because I just know how important it is for people in their daily life to be able to move really, really well. All right. If you'd like my help, hit me up. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day.